Alright, so this is Jeremy Chen. We are here at the Hilton 704 Hilton. We'll be trying to get a sense of what we have here going on with the beginnings of the fence. So, yeah, hi to all of you Central students. What we have here, it doesn't look like super neat, to be honest. But you know, we're working with unprofessionals, and we're sort of, yeah, it doesn't look great, but I think it'll work. Got these poles are 6 feet apart. Now, something you can see is that the two poles at the edge is about 2 feet. Whenever we finish this fence, we're going to have to figure out a way to close this off, this gap. And the same thing on the other side, between that wall and that wall. And it's going to be the same thing for both sides over there. And then over here, I think that's even bigger gap. That's probably like 3 or 4 feet. Now, another thing to think about is these poles are not all embedded in the ground at the same height. We are going to need to think about that when we try to construct the top of these things. Either we, whatever we build on top, it's able to extend beyond the top of it. So maybe we'd have to build something, these fence slats, sort of as a frame that can rest on top of, that can be on top. That doesn't have to necessarily go straight into this, but could, as a whole frame, go across. That's one way to do it. Or this might be more work to figure out. You know, you'd have to lay a line to see over the top of the highest one, perhaps, and to try to get the rest of the fences posts to have the same height, and then we'd have to get some 4x4s and cut them to size. So if you look on the other side, you can see the difference of height. That was because different teens went into the ground at different depths. So now, let me turn you around. I think this, between these two, could be the door on this side, and then between these two on this side can be the door. And then the other thing to think about is these footings, right? We'll probably have to add a little bit of cement later to fix them up, to make them a little nicer. But these footings are not fully to the ground. If you look at it, they're a couple feet off, a couple inches off the ground. Over here, it's more pronounced. So, like, this one is the highest one. Now, if we're building, we're trying to create like slats, horizontal slats on the bottom and on the top of maybe 2x6s or 2x8s or something like that. These are 6 feet between, so 6 feet by 2x8s. We just have to think through how to fasten them to these posts, given this. So it might also have to be some way in which, some of these pieces at the bottom are actually fastened together. Yeah, connected to each other, so that they could maybe connect over there, like as a whole unit. So that's something to think through. And then we're thinking about having this sort of maybe 4-foot wire gauge, maybe I think like 12 gauge. I don't remember the number, but a thicker gauge, sort of mesh that could go across in the middle, so that we could be able to see through the fence, but strong enough that you wouldn't puncture through it, break through it. And then also having the wood on top as well, so it's not flimsy and hard. You wouldn't be able to climb it. So the reason we want to have it a pretty tall wall, like really as tall as this one, basically. The rest of them kind of trying to make it up to the height of this one, is because we don't want this to be a climbable fence. So that's kind of what we got going on here. Let me just walk through here and show. So we're thinking about for the shed to locate it back here, somewhere back here. There's a lot of space back here. Over here, we're thinking about putting some compost bins. We've got this thing over here. And yeah, this side already is relatively full with boxes. But on this other side, we could put more boxes. We have built only 3 boxes, and we could fill them up with more. There's plenty of space here, so we have some extra wood over here that we could use. So other kinds of work that can be done is there are some trash here, trash bags, and some trash that could be just scooped up a little bit in the back as well in this corner. To think about what else. It seems like the project you guys were thinking about was a shed, maybe working on this fence. I know you have benches, but you probably want to bring the benches in after we have secured the fence. And then the doors is a discrete project that could be done, between these 2 posts. I think they could be put in regardless of if the rest of the fence is in as well. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 spans on this side, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on that side as well, if you don't count the doors. 5 spans of 6-footers, and maybe about a third of it be for the wire mesh window. So if you think about, say, around 8 feet, 6 feet span, we can calculate about what that looks like for how much lumber is required. Okay, so that's the considerations I could think of right now. When you come here, you might see that some of these footings and the cement doesn't look great. It doesn't look flat and all that. I think we'll have to redo or add a little bit to fix them up and make them nicer, so that it's just not a crappy job later. But that's something that we can fix later. Okay, that's what I got for now. Hope that's helpful. Thanks.